What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you are meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh, other times, baby girl, we're gonna cry, but we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is babe in true connection with herself. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. Can I get an amen? Amen. Today we're talking about how to fully step into exactly who we came here to be by unlocking our divine confidence, our Godfidence, if you will. We're going to learn how to create validation from within, how to shift ourselves onto our most confident timeline, and ultimately how to claim what has always been ours, which is our confidence. I don't know if you know this, but when you were born confident and magnetic. When you were in your little diaper, were screaming, crying, you didn't care who was in the room. You were loud and proud. That means that confidence is our natural state and insecurity is a learned behavior. Would you look at that? And here's the good news about that. If insecurity or anything that deviates from confidence is a learned behavior, we can unlearn that behavior and go back home to who we truly are, which is a magnetic being. You were created to be confident, not to be so scared and insecure. It's a waste of your own damn time. Who gets served when you're insecure but the energy vampires of the world and Satan? And last time I checked, you're not playing for his team. Okay? Before we get into it, a couple of announcements. If you're not yet following me on Instagram at Vibin with CC, VIBIN with CIICII, be sure to follow me there for daily tips and tricks on how to step into your most magnetic timeline. If you've not yet ordered your copy of Show Up As Her, girl, what are you doing? We are actually going to be pulling some themes from Show Up As Her today. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your own copy to follow along. Also, on the 7/17, I'm going to be releasing my new single, Pudding, and this will help you step onto a most magnetic timeline. Not even a more magnetic timeline, a most magnetic timeline, period. And it will really help you release what's no longer serving you so you can fully accept in the right people, opportunities, and places. That link to pre-save will be in the show notes. And without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Let's first talk about validation. The voice we hear the most is the one in our own damn head. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough, that nobody likes you, that you're not cute, guess what? You're going to believe that because your subconscious mind believes everything that you tell it. Your subconscious mind is like a child. It is passive. It is a sponge, and it will soak up everything you tell yourself. So first things first, we have to shift the narrative we have on replay in our head because that narrative is like elevator music. It is always on and it never stops. It might be so unconscious to you, playing in the background of everything that you do that you don't even notice it anymore. So step one is awareness. We have to start paying attention to the words, the stories, the narratives that we are speaking in our own mind. Law of correspondence, as above, so below. Your internal world will always be reflected back to you in your external one. So if you're telling yourself insecure stories in here, you're going to see insecure timelines play out in your reality. If you are telling yourself insecure narratives inside of you, you are going to feel that and then experience that in every bar, every party, every room that you walk into. That at one time was me. I would feel so uncomfortable, so insecure going to a party or a bar. And then I realized this isn't serving me and it's based on a lie because I was born confident. I didn't care if I had to scream or cry or get what I wanted. I wanted that bottle and I threw bottles to get a bottle. That's a real story. My sister told me I literally was just throwing bottles because I wanted more milk. I was so confident. So if I am now insecure, that means I learned insecurity along the way. And a lot of that was due to to the stories I was telling myself. Well, I can't have that person. I can't have that opportunity. Someone else is better. That's BS. Who even said that? That's all just a limiting belief. And what's a belief but a practiced thought? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's chemicals connecting in your head. And if we want to go down to another layer, okay, it's energy. Awesome, cool. It doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything. I have told this story before, but I'm going to tell it again in case there's new listeners. I was doing intermittent fasting and it was about 5 p.m. and I hadn't eaten, and I went to the grocery store and I just bought everything. I didn't look at labels. I didn't even know what I was buying. I just started ripping open bags, eating in the grocery store, probably eating in the car. When I got home, I looked at what I bought and I was like, Cece, what did you just do? Because you would never eat this food. I don't remember if it was dairy or gluten or packaged chemicals that are supposed to look like food but are literally not food. I don't know what that was all about. But I bought so many things I would never even touch, and I realized because I was so hungry for food, I dropped my standards, I dropped my values, I dropped my boundaries, and I just let anything into my cart because I wasn't thinking clearly. When you are starving for confidence, validation, notoriety, to be seen, heard, understood by others, because you're not giving it to yourself, you will drop your boundaries, your standards, your value system, and you're just going to let anyone and everything in. And that's how people end up on a runaway train that they did not mean to get onto. You have to start shifting the narrative within your own damn brain. You have to start validating yourself on a daily basis. How do you do this? Celebrate your big and little wins. I don't care if you graduated from college or made your damn bed. Celebrate yourself. Good job, Cece. Today I went to yoga and it was 128 degrees. And that was hard. And the girl next to me, who I might have a budding new friendship, her name was Sophia, and she's so pretty and cool. She said, you did not stop once. You did amazing. And then the yoga instructor yelled at us for talking. But I was like, you know what? Thank you. And you're right. I have really put the pedal to the metal today, and I didn't stop once. I was focused, I was engaged, and I barely got any sleep the night before, and I still showed up for myself. So I celebrated myself internally, but I would have forgotten to do that unless this beautiful angel, Sophia, would have said something. And it made me feel so good. Okay, you're noticing, but I'm noticing myself. And there's something to be said when you see yourself, when you validate yourself. The thing is, no one knows how hard it is to be you. And we're not going to have a pity party for ourselves, Jesus. But that's the truth. No one knows how hard it was for you to wake up today and show up to work or show up to school. No one knows how badly your heart's breaking. Nobody knows that you have a loved one dying. Nobody knows that you're struggling with your own health. No one knows that you're fighting with your family. No one knows that your friends are bullying you. No one truly knows how hard it is to show up as you every single day. But you know the one person who does? You. You know. Now, there are multidimensional beings. Hello, Jesus. Hello, God. Hello, your spirit team, who also know how hard it is for you. And we're going to get into them later. But the earthly person who knows how hard it is for you to show up every single day is you. So you got to be celebrating yourself. You got to be saying, oh, go, Cece. Yes, bitch, you did it. You did it, and you're going to do it again tomorrow and the next day and the next day. I've said this before, but music really helps me get into a good mood. It really helps pump me up. I will put on anything by Sabrina Carpenter, and I'm off to the races. I could do 3 trails and then some. Find a song that makes you feel really happy and just so in the moment, and make it about love or happiness or joy. And you know what's so funny? The other day I was doing a trail and I was listening to Nonsense by Sabrina Carpenter. And this is a love song. And while I was listening to this, I heard God's voice cut through to me so clearly. And he said, I don't want you falling in love with someone right now, Cece. I want you falling in love with the process of creation, because this season of singleness is actually the season of holiness, and I need you focused on what you can do with your life, but this time with me by your side. Because before you were leading from your head, and now I need you to lead from your heart and include me in all of your plans. And I'm going to show you how different life looks when you include me in every step that you take. And any sign or message I get for myself, I know is also a sign and message for you, because we're in alignment. And that's why you're listening to this right now. So that message for me is also for you. Okay, yeah, do what you've been doing, but this time include God. Do it from your heart. Fall in love with the process of creating. And what are we creating? We're creating thoughts of self-validation. We're creating thoughts of feeling good about ourselves. We're celebrating our big and little wins. We're being impeccable with our word. When we say something, we do it. If we say we're going to show up, we will be there. If we're saying that we're going to do this, we're going to do it. Because that builds confidence, knowing that you can trust yourself to show up when you said you're going to show up. Even if you currently believe you're unlucky, insecure, and ugly, it doesn't really matter. Because you believe that because you practice thinking it. You can change your beliefs by interrupting and inserting new sentences, new thought forms, new ideas, new scripts. When you have a negative thought about yourself, I want you to interrupt it and say, no. I'm not subscribing to that narrative anymore. And instead, I'm going to validate myself for showing up, for doing the work that I needed to get done, or at least trying to do my best. When all else fails, you're not the best in the class, you're not the best at your work, just try your best, because you really can't hate yourself for trying your damn best. We are creating new thought forms, new sentences, new narratives, and this time we're doing it with God by our side. The second thing to build confidence is you can change what you don't like about your life. I don't know why everyone's trying to convince us to just accept what we don't like. And if you can't see this right now, but I'm doing the robot, I don't like that, okay? When I was 30 plus pounds, I didn't like being that weight. I'm not just going to accept it because someone's telling me that I should. That doesn't make any sense. If you're not happy with something in your life, your health, your body, your career, your friendships, your relationship, what? Newsflash, you can change it. No, you don't have to accept it. No, you don't have to say like, oh, it's fine. It's not fine. If you're not happy, God's not done, and you should not be either. There's no reason you should be accepting parts of your life that you're literally miserable in. You can change things that you don't like about your life. This brings me to page 123 in Show Up As Her. Here we go. I've been the girl that hated herself, and I am the girl who loves herself. I'll give you a hint. One of these is way more fun than the other. I love self-love, but I was turned off by the self-love movement. I didn't understand how to just love myself. Then I figured out that self-love is not something that falls from the sky and hits us on the head. It's a muscle we have to build. Positive bitch tip. Just as we build up physical muscle, we must also build up psychological self-love muscles. We wouldn't go to the gym one time and expect to have abs, so don't say one affirmation and expect to love yourself. It's a process. We don't have to love every version of ourselves. I do not love the version of me that was constantly binging, hating herself, self-sabotaging her relationship, and was depressed. If someone was treating me the way that version treated myself, telling me terrible things about myself all day, forcing me to shove down my emotions with food, and hurting my relationships, I would not like them at all. I don't have to love that version of me, but I honor and respect the contrast she showed me because she allowed me to clarify and love myself for who I am now. I needed that older version of me to lead me to this updated version of me. I don't love that version, but I thank her. Instead of wasting time trying to love the version of yourself that is hurting yourself, begin to accept where you're at. Thank this version of you for showing you what you do not want for yourself. thank this version of you for getting you this far. If you got yourself here, you can get yourself out of here too. You have had the power all this time. Today, you have become conscious of it. Imagine all the things you can do now. I'm going to skip to 124 and go down. To build ourselves up, we must accept where we are at. I tried to pretend I didn't binge eat. I tried the whole false positivity thing. I tried faking it till you make it. And none of that helped. Being in denial of parts of you will not allow you to release those parts. Pretending you are happy with parts of yourself that you despise will not allow you to change or release those parts either. We don't have to remain the same if we do not love what's in front of us. And we don't have to love what's in front of us to accept what is. We can't hate ourselves into loving ourselves. We can't hate ourselves into being healthy. We can't hate ourselves into success. We can, however, accept where we are at and decide to go in a new, higher vibrational direction. Accept your current status, whatever it may be. Accepting our current status doesn't mean we're stuck there. It means we're opening ourselves up to new possibilities. By accepting what is in front of you, you are shortening the gap between where you are right now and where you wish to be. Look at the things you do not like about yourself and ask yourself, are there actual steps I can take to change this thing? If you don't like your body, ask yourself, can I drink more water? Can I go for more walks? Can I eat more food? You have to be asking yourself, what is an actionable step I can take to change what I don't like? And do not tell me you tried everything, because you didn't. No, you didn't. There's always something else you can change. You might not be aware of it, but there's always something else you can try to change your life. If you do not like something about your weight, acne, style, job, lack of coping mechanisms, hello, that was me for a long time, relationship to self or low self-esteem, these are all things that can be changed. Begin to get curious about how you can change what you do not like and do research. Make a list of actionable steps you can take. If the current version of you isn't sure what to change, ask the version of you who already has what it is you currently desire. There are limitless versions of you in this quantum field. This means that even if the version you embody now doesn't have something you desire, there is a version of you out there that does. If you want something another version of you has, simply ask that version out loud what they did to get those results. Ask, what does a version of me that has blank do to achieve those results? I asked, what does a version of me that has my desired body do to achieve those results? That version of me had new, cute workout clothes she felt great in, worked out 6 times a week, drank more water, stopped letting herself negatively spiral about her body, practiced gratitude daily, meditated, did yoga, blessed her food before consumption, and addressed her inner child wounds. I recommend taking about 10 minutes to sit quietly and get connected with yourself. Asking is great, but being able to hear the response is another story. You must be connected to yourself to hear the next steps. Once you receive your answer, you can start doing that thing. Trust yourself. The answers are within you. You just need to ask for them to come to the surface. Instead of complaining about what you hate, begin to turn your attention to what you would love and become inquisitive about how you can get there. Positive bitch tip. Complaining about where you are will never get you to where you want to be. Set your eyes upon a positive place so you can move towards that. And remember, if you keep doing what you've always been doing, you will repeatedly manifest the same results. Let's say you can't change what it is that is bothering you and you feel it's giving you lower confidence. Let's say when you walk into your job, there are coworkers who are jealous of you. And so they send negativity. Instead of seeing this as, oh, I'm the weakling, I have to be quiet, I want you to shift your perception. Because actually, if people are picking on you, it's because they see your light. You have so much power that they are threatened, and therefore, they're trying to bring you down to their level. And by the way, have you forgotten about alchemy? Have you forgotten about energy transmutation? When people are sending you hate, jealousy, they're sending their limiting beliefs, you can take that energy and use it as fuel to stay an extra hour at work and get the job done, to do the workout, to give yourself extra self-care, to go for a walk, to start the side hustle. You can use the negative energy people are sending you, because at the end of the day, energy is energy, and you can use it to your advantage as fuel. Do not get mad, get everything you have ever wanted and more. So if you can't change the people in your workplace, you can change your perception of them. Another thing you can do is change the meaning you give to something. Cindy Crawford, when she was first starting out modeling, everyone told her, remove your mole, remove your mole, remove your mole. And she refused. She was like, no. This mole is from my lineage. This mole is beautiful to me. And therefore, I'm going to rock it. And actually, that is really what made her so famous, is her mole. Same thing with that model, Winnie, I believe her name is. She has vitiligo, and she was on America's Next Top Model. She could have grown up being insecure about her skin being two different tones. She could have grown up and let the bullies get to her head, but she said, no, this makes me beautiful. This makes me different. This makes me a superstar. If you can't change something about yourself, most likely you can change your perception or change the meaning you're giving to it. One of these things you can change to work in your favor and build your confidence. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do if you want to become confident is hang out with yourself. How do you get to know someone? You need to spend time with them. You might not feel confident sharing your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, how you see the world, because you don't know any of those answers, because you don't spend enough time with just yourself. I spend most of my time with me, myself, and God. I am so sure about how I see myself. I am so sure of my beliefs. I will be open if something changes my mind, of course. I'm not a stone. But I am so sure about how I see myself, how I see the world, how I see God, that when I walk into a room, I'm confident. I read my Bible. I read my books, all the self-help books. I wrote my own damn book. I'm confident about how I see myself in the world because I spend so much time alone. I'm confident about myself and how I see the world because 90% of the time, I'm working on me. I'm doing yoga. I'm broadening my brain. I just signed up for a 2-week meditation class that just ended and learned a new process to connect with myself and the other side because I'm committed to energetic excellence. I'm constantly working with a shaman, with a healer, with somebody, constantly broadening. Well, maybe what if this is true or that's true or this conspiracy theory? I am confident about myself and my beliefs because I do the research and I spend time with me. Spending time with others is great and it's lovely, but that should not be at the cost of you spending time with yourself. And it's really funny because the more you spend time with yourself, the more you're going to recognize how cool your own energy is. Now that I'm single and I have more time to not text anyone and just really spend time with me, I'm like, ooh, this is fun. I enjoy being in my own energy. I enjoy being with myself. It feels good to rest and dwell within the confines of Cece's energy. And it makes me even more confident. But I wasn't confident when I didn't know myself. When I felt purposeless and I didn't know what my mission was and I didn't know who I wanted to be and I didn't know what I wanted to do and I didn't know what I thought, I was not confident because I didn't have thoughts of my own. I didn't have conclusions of my own. I didn't even think for myself. And if we're not thinking for ourselves, the devil will think for us. So you need to wake up and start working on you. Sign up for a class, learn something new, read a book, do something that your inner child would have loved to do. You cannot rely on how people view you to be your source of how you view yourself if you want to be confident. You cannot rely on the projections, the opinions, the ideas of others if you want to see yourself clearly. Because those people have limiting beliefs. They may have monitoring spirits. They might have a bunch of junk up in their trunk. You cannot rely on how people see you, especially the people you grew up with, if you want to see yourself for who you truly are. Because a lot of us, as we were children, we created a mask of who we thought we had to be in order to get love. And as we grow up, as we go to college, a lot of us are able to remove this mask, but a lot of us aren't. And if we're going to rely on the people who knew us to tell us who we are now, we're in for a world of trouble, baby girl. Something really interesting happens in the Bible. Jesus was actually unable to perform a lot of miracles in his hometown of Nazareth, literally because people lacked faith in him. They knew him as a carpenter. They knew him as this little dude. They didn't see him as this prophet. They didn't see him as Jesus Christ. They just knew him as Jesus, the carpenter. In Mark 6:5, Jesus says, only in his hometown, among his relatives, and in his own house is a prophet without honor. The point is, the people that lived in Jesus' hometown, they couldn't see him for his truth. They could only see him as a past version of himself. They couldn't see his vision. They couldn't understand his power, just like the people from your past don't understand your vision, your power, and the truth of who you are. So if they want to make fun of you for posting, let them make fun of you. If they want to make fun of you for going out on a limb and trying, let them make fun of you. Because you know who will be successful in the end? You. Because you were plugged into you were plugged into your vision, and you gave energy and thought to it. God gave you the vision, you the understanding of that vision. He placed it in your heart, not theirs. This has nothing to do with them. There's no doubt in my mind that when I was posting videos at first, I'm sure all the girls I used to be friends with, 100% probably had a group chat and were making fun of me. Go right ahead. Because I have my own business now. I have a podcast. I was invited to be a part of an iHeartRadio panel in Las Vegas. I have a published book. Make fun of me. Send me the energy. I'll use it as fuel. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. I'm living my dream purpose. I'm confident in myself. I feel on fire, on fuel. I'm ready to go. And I'm also just getting started. So if people from my hometown or people from your hometown can't see what you truly have to offer, who cares? They're not meant to, and they don't have to. It does not matter how they see you. And you can't rely on their vision to unlock your purpose. If you want to understand who it is you are, I highly recommend, I invite you to start connecting to God. And I just saw 202. So you're on the right path. And you're understanding your relationship to this energetic electromagnetic field that we reside in. But it's time you start tapping into that divine source creator. Through having a relationship to God, I was able to see myself clearly. I was able to find myself for who I truly am. I was able to see myself from God's perspective rather than the perspective of my peers who had a bunch of limiting beliefs and was not a true reflection of my worth and my value. I literally told God, if I'm so great, show me. Show me it in my reality. Show me it in my progress. Show me it in my wins. Show me it in the people I attract. Show me it in myself. Let me see it. Let me feel it. Let me feel it. And I know God does not make any mistakes. So if you're here and I'm here, it's because we're both meant to be here. I know that every room I walk into, I'm not there by accident because I'm always at the right place in the right time, as are you. So that literally means that every room I walk into, I'm walking in there like God sent me there because he did. I don't need your invite. I don't need your validation. I don't need your opinion because this is not about you. This is between me and God, actually. So how you view me, none of my business, none of my concern. I'm on planet Earth on a mission. And the only way to figure out that mission is to spend time with yourself and scream at God. I got to be honest. That's what I did. I screamed and cried at God every single day until it was revealed. And then I didn't have a mental breakdown, but a breakthrough. And then here we are. You did not fall out of God's back pocket. You're not here by mistake. God is very intentional with his creations. He created the mountains and the skies and the birds and the bees. And then he said, you know what else this earth needs? You. This earth needs you. So you have a purpose in your heart. And it doesn't matter if it's, I'm going to be a kindergarten teacher. It doesn't matter if I'm going to be a first responder. It doesn't matter if it's I'm going to be an influencer. It doesn't matter if it's I'm going to be a mom. It doesn't matter if it's I'm going to be a superstar. It does not matter how big or small you perceive your purpose. Your purpose is important on this planet, and we need you here. Because if your energy was sent here, it's because we need your energy here. Dolores Cannon, a famous hypnotherapist, said there were lines and lines and lines of souls trying to get to planet Earth at this time, but you got here. So I'm not going to let you mess this up. You got yourself here. What are you going to do now that you're here? And I know you did not come this far just to get this far. I don't even know what accent that was, but I do know that you're meant to be here, and that's what truly matters. And I know this sounds preachy, but what do you want me to do? Lie to you? Should I pretend like I don't have a relationship with God? Should I pretend that I didn't unlock a new level of confidence when I started connecting to God instead of stupid, useless gossip and content? Should I pretend? Well, I'm not going to. This is my truth. So if you don't like it, then click off. But if you want to learn how to become your most confident self, if you want to see yourself for who you truly are, who God intended you to be, before the programming, before the mask, before everyone convinced you that you weren't anything, then you better start tapping in. That means meditation. That means prayer. That means nature. That means just sitting by the water. It can even mean reading, but it means separating yourself from everyone who's just trying to tolerate you instead of celebrate you. It means separating yourself from the people who can't see you and turning to the God who created you. So yeah, it's preachy, but it's also my truth. And I want you to experience the unconditional confidence that I feel every single time I step into a room. When I step into a bar, I tell myself, my fun is my responsibility. God sent his daughter here and I'm ready to go. I don't need Brad at the bar to give me a compliment. I don't need someone to dance with me. I don't need someone to like me. Why? Because I like me. Because I can see myself through God's eyes. And God loves me. Jesus loves me. So I don't need you to love me. And Jesus saves us from the bare minimum. I mean, the man died on a cross for us. So yeah, if you want me to go out with you, you can pay for dinner, period. I love you so much, and that's why I'm never going to lie to you. And this is my truth. This is my story. Take it or leave it. All I can ever do is tell you what I've experienced and what I know to be true. This was a prayer that I saw literally while I was filming this episode. So I'm going to pray over all of us, and you can always replay this and say it yourself. But it's from Power of Angelic Healing. That's the page. And it's from Archangel Michael, and it's on self-respect. Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me and all of my positive bitches see ourselves as you see us, through the eyes of love. Thank you for honoring and respecting us. Please guide us to do the same for ourselves and grant us the courage to speak on our own behalf. We ask for your protection in all of our relationships so that we are surrounded by kind and loving people. This is what I mean by asking your spirit team to help you. They're always there. They're ready to help you. Ask them, and they will send you resources, a random video. You'll find a random prayer card. You'll find someone just comes up to you and is like, oh my God, you have the best energy. They will send material content, people, places, and opportunities that are reflective of your true inherent worth rather than your beliefs of insecurity being reflected back to you. So start asking to see that instead. I love you so much. We are decentering our insecurities and we are centering God instead, because God makes no mistakes when he put us on this planet. Okay? As always, the sparkle in me honors the sparkle in you. I hope this podcast resonated with you and maybe taught you something new. If you know that someone might need to hear this, send this episode to them. Give them this uplifting energy so they can also find their inner sparkle. If you've not yet ordered your copy of Show Up As Her, be sure to do that. And if you would like to, please leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If not for me, do it for you because good karma. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah.